So, today is Friday, and let me tell you something. Friday is the day that basically on the weekends my girlfriend likes to come over here. I met a girl here um, in Brazil, pretty young. We're talking about a girl who is she's like 18. I'm on my 30s, and she's perfect for me, honestly. And there's no way in hell in the US I would have had the opportunity to be with an 18-year-old girl on my 30s, because people there, they want you to be dating people your own age and all the other stuff, while they isolate the living shit out of you on your own, on your young years and stuff like that, because you have to work, you have to do all sorts of stuff like that. So um it's pretty good, man. I feel pretty good. Dating younger girls in Brazil is incredible. um she's good, she's a good woman. We've been dating for a few weeks now. She sleeps over on the weekends here, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sometimes Monday. And I cook for her incredible meals. She knows how to cook everything, even different cakes and all sorts of stuff. So, so it's like I cook for her, she cooks for me, and it's just really good, man. Really good. And we go to the beach every now and then together, and it's been helping me a lot with my mental health, being with someone caring, nurturing, and all these other stuff. um I have been a lot more stressless, and this is what a part of a psychological warfare operation in the US is isolating you, following you, harassing you, radicalizing you, so that they can then arrest you. And so something must be done in the US, definitely. But it's already happening. All sorts of horrible shit's happening in the US. But you have to understand that, like, you can't just go around fucking and with people, harassing people, and doing all sorts of bad shit to people, because there are a lot of consequences to the actions you do. And not everybody is out there trying to get white women and stuff like that. Like, my girlfriend is not white. Like, I wasn't looking for a white woman in the US to begin with, but these people were projecting their insecurities on me all the time. So um so it's really important to make them pay, make them pay, make them pay, especially a bunch of compartmentalized drones out of the State Department and state and stuff like that, saying, oh, the enemy can't have any comfort, the enemy can't have any peace, the enemy can't have anything. So it is critical. Like, this is why hundreds of positions in Ukraine are getting leaked out. This is why billions of dollars of US equipment is just getting bombed everywhere. Because domestic enemies, like when people say, oh, they're domestic enemies because they don't support the military, they're domestic enemy because they're critical about the government and their policies. They're domestic enemies because they don't agree with the mainstream narrative of things, or they're domestic enemy because this and this and this and this and this and that. So once you try to create some kind of consolidation of who is right and wrong, then eventually you radicalize a whole group of people outside the United States of America that can create a lot of problems for the government itself outside the US. But I didn't deserve to be harassed, followed, targeted, and not just that, framed in the US. Framed, harassed, targeted, and on top of it all, the entire federal government got replaced. James Comey and all these other scumbags, they all got replaced inside the FBI and the DOJ and all these other bullshit. And So if you're trying to figure out what I'm talking about, just go below on some of my videos. I was just they shot me with chemical agents where you're borderline like having a mental breakdown, you're stressed, you're everything. And I arrived here in this nation under a lot of psychological stress, but now that doesn't exist anymore. I have a girlfriend. She's young. She's from my nationality. And I spent a whole lot of years in the U.S. slaving away my wages, getting myself in a lot of debt, thinking that the American dream was out there, the American pie with the women was there waiting for me. Nah, man. There's nothing in America. Nothing. Nothing. That nation is not good for anything. The nation is not good for relationships. The nation is not good for socializing with people. The nation is not good for absolute anything. There's nothing good about America at all, honestly. Nothing. Like, I was just sitting here at my beachfront apartment here, and I was just thinking about it. Like, I was never happy and fulfilled in the U.S. I never had a long-term relationship like I'm having with a young girl. I never had the time and money to do the things I wanted to do in the U.S. Hell, here I have fiber optic internet services. In the U.S., we don't have fiber optic internet services. We have copper shit, and only limited amount of places have fiber optic internet. It's just mind-blowing, man, how much corruption, bureaucracy with Comcast and all these other places like that, where they force everybody to get their services. So there you have it, man. It's just, I'm happy here. I have a girlfriend. She's young. She's everything, you know, I was looking for in a woman. And in the U.S., I only dated older women, older, crappy-looking women, post-swap women that can't even have any kids. Like, they either clip their uterus or they just don't want to have any more kids. They're just the leftovers of America, basically. That's what I dated in America, and it's really messed up. But you know what's going on is that the U.S. is pissing off a whole lot of people, and then when people from the U.S. want to travel overseas, and then there's a bunch of Americans getting kidnapped, there's a bunch of Americans disappearing, people from the European Union disappearing, all sorts of shit like that. And then you wonder why, like, why is my citizens going overseas and dying? Like, maybe you were treating those people like terrorists just because they were brown and you were racist as fuck. So that's what's going on, man. Here in South America. It's just that I am so fucking happy, and I'm satisfied, and I have everything I want in a woman. Young, healthy, fertile, and everything I can think of. And it's something that I never had in the U.S. My mental state is a lot more clear. I think better. I sleep better. I am way more satisfied. Everything you can think of. And then all I heard in the U.S. was stories of ex-girlfriends that I had, like, oh, you know, I had a threesome with this guy once when I was very young. Oh, I had a threesome with that guy as well when I was very young. And I was just standing, you know, like, okay, bro, like, You know, when I was young, I was working 9 to 5 nonstop in order to buy a car and try to buy a house and try to fulfill my promises, my dreams of buying a house in the US cash and stuff like that. But guess what? The American dream is fucking dead. You have to be asleep and you have to be retarded to believe in the US. So, there you have it, man. Passport bros, man. This is the absolute shit. Like, all those trash women in the US, all those older women in the US. Trash, trash, trash. They're just a sex toy, a walking sex toy, basically, for a lot of rich people in the US that have money. But for the working class in the US, good luck, man. Good luck. But all I can think in my mind right now in the back of my head is revenge. Like, that's what a lot of people feel when they leave the US, is like, we gotta have revenge. We gotta have revenge for all those years wasted dreaming of a fake illusion. Like, we gotta have revenge, man. And I'm trying to like forgive, like, oh, maybe I should forgive, but like, I'm on my 30s now. It's like, shit, dude, I spent 30 years of my life isolated in America. Like, never had a girlfriend, never had anything. Like, I was just a slave. I was just the Hispanic brown slave in America, like, that was isolated, tortured, and emotionally and psychologically abused, followed, harassed, and all sorts of shit like that. And this doesn't happen here. Nothing like that happened here. Here I'm treated normal, like everybody else. So something has to happen. I don't care what it is, but it has to happen. Even though I'm satisfied, I'm happy with my girl and everything I can think of. But to slave away 30 years of your life dreaming about that American dream, that American pie, that house, that, you know, women, that wife, and all those things, and then figure out that everything was just an illusion and that people were mocking you and harassing you the whole time. Something gotta happen, man. Something has got to happen. I don't care what it is. Something has to happen.